Hello, Edumagicians. Welcome to the Edumagic Podcast with your host, Dr. Sam Fessich. Dr. Sam is a professor of education, author of Edumagic, and a pumpkin spice latte fan. This podcast is designed for pre-service teachers. Remember, friends, teaching doesn't begin at graduation, but during that first class at 8 a.m. Let's get this party started.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. Explore more podcasts at www.teachbetterpodcastnetwork.com. Now let's get on to the episode.
Hello, Edumagicians, and welcome back to another episode of the Edumagic Podcast. My name is Dr. Sam Fessich, and today we're going to be looking at the Take 5 strategy for teachers, making every student feel like the most important person in the room. So let's talk about it. What is the Take 5 strategy? I am currently listening to the book Creating Magic by Lee Cockerell. It was suggested to me by a wonderful colleague, Dr. Amy Orville. And Lee Cockerell is the former executive vice president of operations for Walt Disney World. He was there for 10 years, and in one of his chapters, he describes a quick strategy called Take 5, and it's based on Disney's culture. So Take 5s are spontaneous moments where cast members, they've been trained to look for opportunities to do something special for guests. For example, child licks an ice cream cone, the ice cream falls off the cone, the cast member replaces it for free. Asking a little girl who's dressed up in her favorite princess dress for their autograph. Maybe sharing some history about a ride or a fun fact about the park. So just some different ways to make guests feel honored and special, just to go above and beyond just that little bit. And they're called Take 5s because they take under 5 minutes, usually about 5 seconds, to blow a guest's mind just through real world acts of kindness and just showing up for people. Because in his book, Lee Cockerell shares that magic isn't a grand gesture, it's a moment of deliberate noticing. And if you remember back in previous episodes of the Edumagic Podcast, I talk about the power of noticing your students, pausing, taking a minute, noticing something about your student and sharing that. Because it goes and it shows the student that they're respected, appreciated, and valued. This is exactly the same thing. It's deliberate noticing, where a cast member pauses, takes the time to show, hey, I see you and you matter. And that's exactly what we do as teachers, right? That's what we do every day. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how this Take 5 strategy relates to teaching, and we're going to give some examples. Now, I do have them separated into grade levels, but they could work across different grade levels if you would like. And if you wanted to, you can also incorporate these into professional development or in professional learning communities if you are a coach, or maybe in higher ed, using it as a way to model for your college students, your future teachers, how to use this strategy in their classroom. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that. So the Take 5 strategy relates beautifully into the classroom. In his book, Lee Cockerell shares about leadership principles, and one of them is everyone's important. And in the book, he means everybody. And he talks about the RAVE theory, which maybe I'll talk about in another episode, the respect, appreciate, value everyone. And this is exactly what we do as teachers in inclusive learning environments. We create these spaces where everybody is valued, supported, appreciated for the unique individual that they are. So every student that comes into your classroom, try to do a Take 5. Let's go ahead and look at a few examples, because these Take 5s, they don't cost anything, but remember that phrase, kids don't remember that test you gave or that worksheet. They remember how you made them feel. That's exactly what this is going for. And this can be something that a student remembers for the rest of their life. All right, so a Take 5 for some K-12 examples. Let's go ahead and talk about early education. When I was listening to the book and he shared about the child in the princess dress and getting her autograph, I thought that was really cool. So I think it might be neat if you were given some artwork from a little one ask them to sign it, because you can then display it maybe in a frame or on the fridge, or maybe you have a bulletin board that has plastic sleeves that you can put in there, each of their artwork or each of something that they're proud of. So it's not all the same assignment or assessment. Students can pick and choose what they're proud of and display that in their plastic sleeve, and then have them sign their work just to show, hey, I'm a legit artist, or I'm a writer, or something like that. Another one, super easy right off the bat, greet every student by name. And we've seen something like this where teachers have secret handshakes with students, individualized handshakes with students, high fives, all those wonderful things. Maybe you've also seen the example of students can choose how they want to be greeted, like a fist bump, a high five, something like that. That's really cool too. Thumbs up, all kinds of stuff that you can do there. But you can add a little bit more in addition to, hey, good morning, Amy, how are you doing today? Add a little bit to it. So how was the play last night? How was rehearsal? How was Girl Scouts? Whatever that child is into, you can ask them about it. And just make a little note and remember to ask them. I've seen this next one in a lot of different kindergarten and first grade classrooms where they have something like student of the day or student of the week, a guest of honor. This is something where I've seen it done different ways. One is during morning meeting, the student gets to sit in a special chair. Maybe it's the special reading chair or whatever, and they get to share about their family. They get to share about their hobbies, their interests, something throughout the week that is a specific question that they get asked by their peers, and they get to share about it. I've also seen this done on bulletin boards where there's a student of the week or student of the month, and they bring in pictures of themselves and their families and their friends, and they decorate a bulletin board that's up for the month for them. My favorite relates back to Danielson's framework, where it talks about communicating with families. Remember, teachers, you do not want your first communication to families be something negative. You want it to set that positive tone. So make a mental note. Observe what students are doing. Notice what they did. Did they help out a friend? Did they support a peer? Did they help somebody out? Jot it down, and throughout that first week, make sure every student has one thing that you noticed about them and send a positive note home. That's a great way to set the stage for positive parent communication, positive student interaction. All right, upper elementary. Let's talk about some ideas for 3rd through 5th grade. So if a student's returning a paper, or maybe they're doing a research project on an animal, you can ask them, oh, hey, I saw you wrote about, my daughter loves cats, saw you wrote about cats, you researched cats, do you have one at home? And if you know my daughter, you know everything about our cats. That way, the student feels seen, they feel heard, and they can talk about their passion and their excitement. What about something where you share with the student, hey, I noticed. So something like, hey, I noticed you're doing really well this week. You're focusing on your work. You have really improved on your spelling test this week from last week. I noticed that you have a new friend with you eating lunch. I noticed that you were really good in the hallway with transitions, whatever that is. It shows that the student is progressing and you're honoring the progress and the process instead of just the final product. What about having a student or groups of students come eat lunch with you in your classroom? Wouldn't that be fun? And it's just to get to know them, have them get to know you, have you get to know them a little bit, and just have them eat lunch. Maybe have a special snack, and you can rotate that until every student gets in to have lunch with you. Just a nice little small group type thing where they can chat with you, snack, and eat and talk. So I think that's really fun too. All right, let's talk about middle schools where it gets a little awkward, right? We got puberty, we got stuff going on. So for this one, maybe give a private acknowledgement. Jot it down on a Post-it note, pop it on their desk so they can see it. So you're like praising them privately, but you're giving them a little sticky. I think that'd be really fun. They can see it. Connect with students, show them that you know about something that they like. Maybe they're really into video gaming, so maybe share about how today's lesson relates to video gaming or basketball or whatever's going on in their life, or whatever latest pop culture thing there is. Using check-ins with students. This is really easy on a tool called Classroom Screen, and I have a wonderful post about it. I'll post it in the show notes. You can check it out. Classroom Screen has wonderful little check-ins. They can be anonymous, where students can check in and share how they're feeling. That's just a nice way to see how students are doing. Or you can use a Google form or a Microsoft form if you want it to have their names so you can follow up. Have students catch them outside of class, maybe attend their rehearsal or attend their games or attend their concerts. Wouldn't that be fun? They get to see you outside of class and it shows, hey, I'm invested in you. All right, let's talk about high school. So for example, something that you could say to students that would just really take that 5 seconds would be, if you have a student who's doing very well, they hand in quality work, they're on time, they're punctual, you love their energy, you're really vibing with that student, you can say, you know what, when you need a letter of recommendation, please make sure you come and talk to me. You can do something like that, and that way it's an intentional little nudge. Hey, when you need those letters of recommendations, please come and talk to me. You can have students who maybe, this one reminds me of 20% time, where it's a passion project that students love, and you can do that in your classrooms where you give 20% time for students to invest in a hobby that they like, and they become the experts on it, and then they can share about that to the class. So that's just a fun way to get to know students and have them get to know each other. And then as students leave, just be like, hey, a really nice job today. I really like how you participated or you showed up today. It really matters. Something like that. As students leave, you can just say something really quiet and meaningful to them. So the biggest takeaway for me from the text by Lee Cockerell was, don't leave these moments to chance. Make it a habit. Look for those things. Who haven't you connected with this week? Keep a note or a tally that shows, hey, did every student get noticed this week, this month? These moments of belonging and value can really help a student who's struggling or just might need to be noticed. And these Take Fives are a great way to do that. So in his book, Lee Cockerell shares, Disney's magic isn't magic at all. It's the intentional, trained behavior of people who decided that every guest deserves to feel like the most important person in the park. So what if every teacher walked in their classroom tomorrow asking, who in this room needs me to take 5 today? It's not extra. It's what we do as teachers. So I hope you take that challenge. Take 5 this week. See who you can notice intentionally and just share that with them. Make them feel like they're the most important person in the room. Make them feel, I see you and you matter. Guess what, friends? If no one's told you today, you matter. And I appreciate you listening to today's episode. Have a fabulous day. And remember, you have the edge of magic within you. Bye for now.
And there you have it, Edu-Magicians. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends. For more Edu Magic, check out sfessage.com. and follow Dr. Sam on Twitter and Instagram @sfessage. Until next time, you have the Edu Magic within you.